But did you, right after that, here comes Pizzeria Uno back out. We haven't seen enough of the Dark Order or the Dork Order or the Dork Odor or whatever. He gives a folder to Anna Jay's friend Taya. And apparently they were tag team partners in the tournament, and they hug. So now I wrote, oh joy, now the Dork Order has a girls division. That's all we needed. All right. I'm going to finish this up real quick because this was the stupidest thing of all. After this stinker of a show with some of the worst matches, the worst promos, the worst booking, whatever the fuck, they have Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara set up for the main event. It's a tables match. They can't just have a match. They have to have the tables match shit. That'll hurt it. But I'm figuring at least we're going to see something. They started this fucking match with a brawl, as they should have. It's a hot fucking angle. And within under a minute, they go to a break. Break up the momentum. Right in the middle. They're in on this show. They not only leave 8 minutes for the main event, but we've seen 20 minutes of that tag team goddamn buffoonery. And Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara in a fight, and they have to go to the break. They can't do the last break before this match gets started. Nobody knows how to format a fucking television show. This goddamn fucking company. I get hotter about it more I think of it. Because these guys could have done something. But now they're back from break. They got 5 minutes left on the air. Sammy Guevara's bleeding. Tables are everywhere. The shit they aired on this show, and we couldn't see whatever happened, except the picture-in-picture that nobody in their right mind is going to fucking watch. Because it has no audio, no commentary, and even on a fucking 82-inch screen, it's goddamn minute. Fucking idiocy. Matt misses an elbow drop off the apron through the table, goes through the table, but it's not the finish. Because it's not just go through a table, it's put somebody through a table as an offensive maneuver. So now we're seeing table breaking before the finish, which is to break a table. What the fuck? And it's somebody is going to say, well, that's right, because he went through it on his own. No, you idiot. The fact is, if you break a table before the finish, where the finish means you have to break a table, then you've just taken the goddamn bloom off the fucking finish. Don't break the table but once for the finish. Ugh. Matt Hardy gives fucking Sammy a twist of fate with a twist of fake. Freudian. Twist of fate with the chair around his neck, but that wasn't the finish. He can't even cover him because you can't pin anybody. So he just gave his finish to a guy, plus with a chair around his neck, and it looked good, but now they've got to goddamn do more shit. He's got to get back up from that. I wrote, I wish we could have just had a match here. Matt Hardy sets the table up over the chair, puts Sammy on it, goes to the top rope, takes his time. Sammy catches him, superplexes him through the table. So that's great, except we just saw a table break. Didn't matter. A 2-hour show, and we get a garbage match for a main event that lasts 3 minutes. And then Pockets runs out and jumps Jericho, and they have a pull apart with the referee. As we've mentioned, fucking guys are kidnapped, thrown in the trunks of cars, beaten with fucking hammers. Nobody comes out. 160-pound fucking fishy white guy from Pennsylvania somewhere comes out and tackles Chris Jericho, and every referee on the roster is right there instantly to break it up because Jericho knows that there's no urgency and there's no excitement unless people are trying to break the fight up. So now we have people breaking the fight up or not, depending on whether the people in the fight have the power to get people to come out and break it up or not. So it'll look good. Here, listen to this.
What was that?
That was me throwing the whole notepad 20 feet across my office.
All right, well, at least it still is in one piece. It's not ripped up or burned this time.
I'm going to go take it later on down to the gas station so that I can shove it down the toilet and flush it, and it won't stop up my pipes. It'll stop up theirs.
All right.
Closing thoughts on the show from your part?
Well, I fast forwarded the Matt Hardy match. I exercised my Matt Hardy rule, which is I don't need to see Matt Hardy ever again. So I didn't watch any of that. I saw the brawl with Orange Cassidy and Jericho, which was ridiculous. I did get a kick out of Jim Ross seemingly. I don't know who he was yelling at. If he's yelling at the referees or the wrestlers. Jim Ross is up there yelling at someone. The Big Swole match is one people should go out of their way to see.
Yeah, don't miss that.
It's quite the spectacle. FTR were great. MJF and Moxley, fantastic dueling promos if you could just ignore everything else around it. Thought Brody Lee did a really good promo. Thought Jake, I don't know what color his mustache is now, but Jake and Taz talking over each other was bizarre, but I like Taz with Ricky Starks and Cage. And I'm actually looking forward to Omega and Page versus FTR at the pay-per-view and to see what they do with Moxley versus MJF.
You're more optimistic than I am, my boy.
I'm optimistic that FTR will have a fantastic match with Page and Omega. I absolutely, 100% I am. I've got faith in Dax and Cash. Those guys know what they're doing.
I think they can have a great match with Paige, and it just depends on what planet Olivier's living on that day. We'll see.
All right.
Well, I've got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the MJF and Moxley match myself, and I'm in a morbid way, I may be looking forward to seeing what happens in the lawyer match next week, because we'll know whether they have a half a clue about how to promote a pay-per-view match or they just want to jack the babyface off some more.
Well, imagine how this whole angle would have gone if MJF had a real attorney in his corner. Imagine how the match would go next week if MJF had a real attorney, one in possession of the Southeastern Championship. But imagine if MJF had a real attorney.
Imagine if he had a real attorney, somebody who will have lunch with Ronnie Garvin and tell him that there's no way that he is going to sue Jim Cornette 33 years later for that fireball. Imagine if MJF had an attorney like that.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or two. He'll sue the rest.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen P. New is the man for you. NewLawOffice.com, 888-692-8084. He did call me last week, left a message on my machine. I was not by the phone. And he had just turned down Ronnie Garvin. He just had lunch with Ronnie Garvin. Ronnie Garvin wanted Stephen to sue me for disfigurement for burning him with that fireball 33 years ago. And Stephen said not only would it be a conflict of interest because he represents me too, but also the statute of limitations on cosmic fireballs is 29 years. So I made it out unscathed. But folks, if somebody has done something to you, don't wait 33 years. Call 888-692-8084 as soon as you humanly can. Because Stephen has gotten a lot of judgments for a lot of people who were wronged by a lot of big corporations, big billionaires, and major muckety-mucks, and he can do the same thing for you. He can't take every case from British Guiana to Swaziland. But folks, especially if you're in the United States of America and you have a case against a major company that has done you wrong or someone that has malpracticed you, well, then Stephen P. New is the man for you. Get even with Stephen. And I don't know what he can do about people impersonating professional wrestlers, but if he would open up that line of work, I know I would have a lot of business for him.
888-692-8084. Get even with Stephen at newlawoffice.com.
It's amazing how you've memorized that number.
I call it several times a week, usually.
I did. I at least you told me not to put the 1 in front of it. I was made aware of that here early on. All right.